If you guys are like me, you're probably getting tired of the whiskey rat race, chasing the allocation all the time, trying to get a hold of super rare bottles at a reasonable price. So I got some alternatives for you. Let's roll that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey. I am T-Rod, the host of the internet's most mediocre whiskey review channel. I appreciate you guys stopping by, appreciate your viewership. I would appreciate even more though if you could leave me a comment down below, something witty and plucky if you don't mind. And if you could smash that subscribe button, that'd be really cool. Maybe drop a like down there, just if you're feeling froggy. So what we're going to talk about today is some alternatives to some highly allocated bottles. I know people are saying the bourbon bubble has burst, right? And that might be true to a certain point because I've definitely seen more allocation floating around recently than I have in the past 5 to 6 years. However, it's still not just waiting on the shelf for you, and in places like Michigan that I reside in, it is still definitely not sitting at MSRP. In fact, I'm still, even at some of my hookup stores, having to pay a little bit over shelf price. So I've got some fun alternatives for you that I would grab before paying secondary pricing or even slightly inflated pricing for some allocation. So first up, we're going to go after that low-hanging fruit. Weller Special Reserve. Now at $27, which I think is the MSRP on this one, it's not bad. It's 90 proof. It's decent. You don't mind putting it in a cocktail. It kind of gives you that wheater sweetness. If you've never had a wheated bourbon before, it's a nice gateway drug and an introductory Weller bottle. However, I have seen these go for upwards of $100. It is not worth it, guys. Do not spend more than $30 on a $7.50 of Weller Green Label. It's just, you're going to be disappointed. Don't do it. Instead, I think you should be reaching for something like this. Mary Dowling Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, their winter wheat, and it is finished in toasted barrels. Now, it's a 1 point higher at 91 proof, but this actually comes in a much cooler looking package, super dope cork, and it's findable, it's affordable. I think these are like $45. So a couple dollars more than the Weller, but A, you're not going to be spending gas driving from store to store. B, you're not going to be catching strays on the internet for being a tater. And C, you're going to look like the smartest guy in the room because you have a better tasting wheated equivalent to Weller that you can find on most store shelves. It's a win-win, guys. No reason not to. While keeping with the Weller theme, everybody loves a good Weller Foolproof. God knows I do. These store picks are amazing. Foolproof is... you know what? I go back and forth between Foolproof and Antique on whether or not it's my favorite Weller expression, but it is hard to beat. It's 114 proof. Some of these single barrels can be absolutely amazing, but you got to pay like $200 for them, sometimes even more. So what I would recommend is instead of hunting for this, paying $200+ for this, grab you a Rebel 10-year single barrel. 10-year-old wheated bourbon. I know it's not a Buffalo Trace product. I know it's not a 1-to-1 equivalent, but this is probably older than the Foolproof, and I have found some of these to be absolute flavor bombs. Yeah, still going to be on the pricier end of things, right around $100 when you can find them. However, some of these have been absolute bangers. I mean, this was a 2019 release. I don't know, it was barreled in late 2009. So yeah, 2019, 2020. And I've had this one for a little while. I actually forgot I had this bottle, but it is supremely good. And I would definitely recommend one of these over one of these. Next on our list, since it was the recent hotness, Old Fitzgerald decanter bottles are wonderful, right? They are beautiful. They are picturesque. The bourbon is usually pretty good, but the last few batches have been pretty young. You got 10-year, 9-year, 8-year. I mean, stuff's getting younger. And the last time I had an opportunity to buy one of these, it was a 8-year and it was $200. Now, I did not pay that for this bottle. I did get a hookup on this one from a local store. However, every other time I've gone to buy one, it's been $200, $300, $500, guys. Well, now, because of the forward-thinking folks at Heaven Hill, we have the Old Fitzgerald Bottled and Bond 7-year. And this is meant to be a shelf staple. This should be sticking around. You should be seeing it pop up more and more often. Don't pay overinflated secondary prices, guys. The demand is going to be met. This will be sitting on shelves, just like the Heaven Hill 7-year bottled in bond is. This will just the same. It's got a beautiful bottle, beautiful presentation. You can tell that like the throat of the bottle here is very similar to the decanter bottles. It's got a very nice wooden cork, very similar to the glass one on this boy. And it comes in a velvet bag sometimes. So yeah, buy this one. Don't waste your money on this one unless it's like a super high age statement and you're getting it for MSRP. Next up, the old Stagy Stag Jr. This is a batch 14. This is a fantastic bottle. And I'm not saying unkind things about it because I do enjoy it. I'm sad that it's almost halfway gone. I've been trying to just savor it as much as I can. Benchmark Foolproof. This is like the Stag Jr. I realize that it's not nearly as old and probably not as deep and complex. And by probably, I mean not at all. But it is the same mash bill. So if you need something to scratch the itch, this is definitely it. And most of the time when I see these guys, they're like $150, $200. These are 25 bucks. You can buy like a case and a half, damn near 2 cases of this stuff. So, I mean, bang for your buck should be part of the equation. And this honestly is not bad. It's just not as good as this stuff. The Stag is always going to have a special place in my heart. It's an amazing whiskey, but the Benchmark Foolproof is no slouch. I think it's, 4 or 5 years old. It's not crazy young, 125 proof. I mean, it's only 5 proof points and a couple of years younger. Hey, I'll take one of these for sure. If I get this at SRP, yeah, best you believe I'm going to grab the Stag Jr. or Stag. But the Benchmark Foolproof, I got quite a few bottles of these just so I always have a backup. Next up, this one's shouldn't be a surprise because this has gotten a lot of hate over the last few years. This is the Midwinter Nights Dram. Now, this is an Act 11. I did not grab an Act 12 yet because I might do it. I don't know. $150 for this bottle is a lot. Constellation, man, you guys got to figure it out, dude. The blend has gotten younger. It has gotten less complex. Since batch 9 rolled out, it has not been a very good showing. They bumped the price another $50. Batch 10 was not very good. Batch 11 was a slight return to form. And batch 12, the best thing I've heard about it is meh. It's very unremarkable. So instead of spending all your money on that, get one of these. This is a Cedar Ridge port cask finish. So this is a rye at a higher proof and approximately 1/3 of the price point of Midwinter Nights Dram. You're still getting a rye. You're still getting right around 100 proof points. This is 105, whereas this is 99 or 98.6. So not even 99 proof. And you're still getting a delicious whiskey for 1/3 of the price, and you don't have to hunt for it. And nobody's going to call you a tater or an allocation chaser or any other weird names. The stuff coming out of Cedar Ridge is absolutely fantastic. I would take a pour of this over most recent batches of Midwinter Nights Dram. Now, full disclosure, you give me like a batch 5, batch 6, batch 7 of the Midwinters, yeah, that's going to be really good. But in today's market, with today's releases, I'm taking the Cedar Ridge over the Midwinters any day of the week. I don't know how old this is, but I know that $150 is not worth it for a port cask finished 6, 7, 8-year-old rye. It's just not. That math does itself, guys. The old horsey itself, Bllandons. I'm not going to bash a ton on Bllandons because everybody already does that for me. When I can find it at SRP, I'll usually grab some because they're pretty good. But I'm not paying secondary prices. I'm not even hunting for them anymore. Instead, I would rather spend my money on an ancient age 10-star. Now, it's a couple proof points lower at 90. This is 93. The Bllandons is a single barrel. This is not. However, this is $27.99. This is now $80 in my market. I can get damn near 3 of these for 1 of these. And depending on the barrel, I have not been able to tell the difference between the two. Now, certain really good bottles and barrels of Blantons, yeah, there's something to be said there. But these are Muy Delicioso, same mash bill, only a year or 2 younger, almost the same price point. And from Buffalo Trace, I mean, come on, guys, work with me here. Last, but certainly not least. This one is a Jack Daniel's Coy Hill, but I'm going to say Jack Daniel's special releases in general. These are really good. The Coy Hill releases especially are really good. I have not cracked mine yet, although I did try the sister bottle that came with this. So same barrel, like literally the next bottle number. And it's really good. This one's one of the lower proof. This is only 132.7, but these are hard to come by. And on the secondary, they're like $300 or $400 sometimes. Instead, I recommend finding a Jack Daniel's single barrel store pick. This is 130.5 proof, but they've gone up to 139, 140 proof. Some of these get very, very hot. But you can tell right on the neck what rickhouse it came from. And a lot of these guys are coming from Coy Hill rickhouses. So instead of spending $300 or $400 on this guy, which, yeah, you're gonna get all the internet points and a bunch of bros online are gonna get tight in the pants over it.
Boner genocide.
But this is $60, $65, and extremely findable. And if you find a store that has barrel picks that aligns with your palate, you're gonna have a much, much better time grabbing 2 or 3 of these and having backups and enjoying it for potentially years to come if you have a collection my size, as opposed to this thing where you're afraid to open it because reasons. I digress. That's it, guys. Buy this, not that. Wait, no. Buy this, not that. Yeah. So I appreciate you guys checking it out. Hopefully you agree with my choices. If you have some other ones, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. If there's some alternatives out there to highly allocated bottles, I would love to know about them. But just, you know, you got to get at me in the comments. But until next time, I am T-Rod. Cheers.